Hello?
Who am I speaking with?
Sometimes the scariest camping encounters happen before anything is fully seen. From footsteps moving around a van late at night to someone silently crawling through bushes just to watch from the dark. These moments leave behind one question: what was really out there? December 25th, 2023. The haunted farm in North Carolina on Christmas night. Everyone else was home with family, but CJ Faison was alone, parked beside the burned bridge on his haunted property. He had no idea that stepping outside that night would lead to a disturbing and unforgettable camping encounter.
Wake up! I'm here, bitches!
Oh man, I always wonder why things like, just hate me. Well, there's the reason right there, so.
This will at least...
It started inside the farmhouse. The Annabelle doll had been secured inside a cabinet. Minutes later, it was found standing upright on the kitchen floor, facing directly toward him.
It was in the house. Whatever that was in the house.
Then a heavy, deliberate impact came from the attic. CJ went upstairs to investigate but found nothing. After returning to the kitchen, the piano keys suddenly slammed violently. There was no wind, nobody else inside, only him and whatever seemed connected to the doll.
They promised us they're like super haunted and all. I've not witnessed anything, so I'm not sure. That was a boom, and that was in the attic, it sounded like. Can you make that noise again for me? Oh, shit. All right.
Later inside the van, the situation escalated further. Slow footsteps moved around the vehicle, gravel crunching as the van shifted once then again.
And I told you all I'd go camp in the Pocomoke in this van. I guess that's my next camping trip in this van, so. I hear footsteps. Hello?
A branch snapped directly above the roof.
Freaky in here. Oh no. Oh, that's damn scary. Good night, spirits and demons.
Something heavy scraped across the metal before everything suddenly went silent, leaving behind a tense and isolated camping encounter atmosphere where every sound felt intentional. Later viewers noticed something CJ himself never saw.
He was saying down there by the water, and maybe this little girl just made a noise on the metal, because that's exactly what that sounded like.
Just before the van moved, a shadow passed across the rear window. Some viewers also pointed out what appeared to be a coffin inside the kitchen. Sometimes events like this stop feeling random and begin seeming connected in ways that are difficult to explain. If you experienced a camping encounter like this, would you stay and try to understand it, or leave before it escalated further? The YouTube channel Midwest Ghost Center, created by paranormal investigator Ian Crandall, focuses on methodical explorations of reportedly haunted historic locations, often set in isolated environments, where unsettling camping encounter moments can emerge unexpectedly. The channel combines careful observation with a calm and controlled approach, documenting strange events and unexplained activity inside buildings, left to slowly age and decay. On November 29, 2024, Ian arrived at the historic Argo Hotel, a location long connected to haunting stories and paranormal claims. With the building closed to outside guests, he prepared to document whatever still remained inside a place layered with mystery, faded elegance, and quiet stories of people who may have never truly left.
I mean, if I was a spirit, this would be the perfect place to haunt. It's cozy, warm, but there's definitely an eerie vibe to it as well when you walk in. Hello? What the heck was that? I swear to God, it out of the corner of my eye. I saw something. It was right over here. Is there someone over here? I mean, it could have been my eyes playing tricks on me. It's definitely possible.
At first, the hotel seems strangely welcoming, almost beautiful. Yet each hallway gradually begins feeling tighter and more oppressive around him. A faint glow suddenly appears near the edge of the frame, before vanishing too quickly for the camera to fully capture it.
Not catching anything in those ones. That sounded like a lady's voice, right there. I swear to God, I just heard that right behind me. Alice, is that you? She's that ghostly woman that they see wandering around. Could you say something again? Is that you I just heard? Whoa! Whoa! There's something standing right over there. It was right behind that couch. It was like a mist or something. But I'm not seeing it anymore. Okay, Alice. I think I see you over there.
As Ian moves deeper through the corridors, a pale figure briefly appears at the far end of the hallway before slipping back into shadow. A soft feminine sound follows soon afterward, though the camera only reveals empty furniture arranged for guests who never arrived.
Okay, never mind. It's over here. I'm almost certain it's coming from this door. It's said to be one of the most haunted rooms. If you're in there, could you make a sound through that door? See what happens if I knock on it. Anyone home? Whoa! No freaking way. Dude, that doorknob, this freaking thing, it just freaking jiggled all by itself. And there should be no one in here. Hello? Who just moved this doorknob? Whoever's haunting this room?
The silence inside the hallway is interrupted when a nearby door handle begins trembling slightly, before slowly moving on its own. Inside the room, the atmosphere feels noticeably heavier, carrying the faint smell of dust and aging pipes.
Okay. I just heard something. Over by one of these chairs. I don't know which one. If you just moved one of these bar stools, could you move it again? Okay. What the hell was that now? That sounded like one of these glasses moving around. This is getting crazy. I'm hearing noises all around me. Could you move one of those wine glasses up there? Could you tell me who you are? Not hearing him again.
Later, inside the dining area, a quiet clink of glass from behind the bar suddenly breaks the silence. The sound is subtle but unmistakable, like two crystal glasses lightly touching together. Yet mirrors and bottles reflect nothing except emptiness.
Hello? Who's making noises in here? No way, that just moved. Did I really just see that? This glass just slid across the freaking table. I've got goosebumps all over my arms right now. Look at that. It was like right over here, and it just went right into that. No, they're not. So that rules that out.
Moments later, a glass slowly slides across the table with precise movement, while everything around it remains perfectly still, making the motion stand out even more.
I'm not alone in this room. I am not alone. That sounded like the bed. Holy shit. No way am I going back in there. Hell no. I am literally desperately fighting not to scream right now. Just unraveled all on its own. Oh God. Just look at that. How is that even possible? That is literally one of the craziest things I have ever seen.
The bed, which moments earlier appeared untouched, begins shifting slightly. Blankets slowly move across the mattress as though disturbed by something invisible.
That came from this corner. Oh God. Did you just make that noise? It definitely came from over here. Little girl, if that was you, would you be able to... That's it. That doll just turned and looked at me, and I am done. Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Deeper inside the basement, a row of old dolls rests along a shelf beneath dim lighting. One of the doll heads subtly shifts position, appearing to turn toward Ian. The change is slight but difficult to ignore. Sometimes the quietest moments feel the most disturbing. Several viewers pointed out how precise the movement seemed, while others believed the reactions felt almost connected to Ian's presence. Some people think the mind naturally fills in missing details, while others aren't convinced. If you were there, would you trust what you saw? Or convince yourself it wasn't real? The Canham's Outdoors is a YouTube channel focused on solo overnight camping trips, where the creator travels across the British countryside searching for quiet and isolated places to stay for the night. In May 2024, he traveled to an old quarry hidden deep inside a remote area and set up his hammock between two trees. While the sun was still out, the location seemed perfect, open, quiet, and far away from everything else. But before long, the night became something far beyond what he expected, turning the trip into an unforgettable camping encounter. As the night continued, the noises kept returning. Sounds he couldn't explain, couldn't recognize, and couldn't ignore. At one point, a sudden disturbance erupted roughly 20 meters away from where he was sitting, loud enough and close enough to immediately make him uneasy. But more than the noises themselves, it was the feeling that affected him most, a constant creeping sense that he was being watched. He repeatedly scanned the darkness around him, constantly checking behind himself, something he admitted was unusual for him. The quarry felt unnaturally dark for such an open area, and the darkness itself seemed heavy.
I just feel like there's someone watching me. Every now and again there's a noise. Yeah, it's too spooky. I just don't feel right. I think I'm going to get out of here.
Eventually, he decided to pack up and leave. But even while gathering his belongings and moving back through the quarry toward the van, the noises continued. Whatever was creating them still seemed to be somewhere out there in the darkness surrounding him. During the walk back, he lost his direction and wandered through the quarry before finally reaching the van. Once inside, still visibly shaken, he reflected on everything that had happened and that's when he mentioned something that made the situation feel even more unsettling.
Right guys, just got back to the van. Bloody hell. I got lost and everything. That place weren't for me. It's just too creepy. Hearing noises. When I was on my way in there, I could hear ladies sort of talking in the bushes. And I'd sort of look round and there was nothing. That put me on edge a bit.
Earlier that evening, before any of the strange activity started, he had heard what clearly sounded like a woman speaking from nearby bushes. But when he checked, nobody was there. He had no explanation at the time, and he still didn't have one afterward. Sometimes a camping encounter like this doesn't need anything visible to feel real. The sounds, the timing, and that constant feeling alone can completely change everything. If you were alone in a place like that, hearing something you couldn't explain, would you stay and keep going? Or leave before it followed you farther? On October 14th, 2020, near a waterfall in Lidate, Rio Claro, Brazil, a visitor was simply filming the peaceful scenery around the area. But just moments later, something entirely unexpected happened and the camera captured all of it. In the comments section, many viewers believe that during those brief seconds, the footage showed nothing more than moving water rocks or tree formations distorted by lighting and camera perspective. Others, however, argue that those few moments were enough for the recording to capture something that can't easily be explained. What do you think was actually there? This footage comes from Cursed Urban, a solo investigator who spent one afternoon exploring a place locals refer to as the Valley of Death, a small section of forest surrounded by farmland connected to multiple missing persons cases, before returning after dark to camp alone on a friend's property bordering the Skinwalker forest.
Looking to get out to for a while. This is very sinisterly named. I'm sorry, I'm so used to starting this out with the forest. The Valley of Death. Right here, all sorts of crazy haunted things that go on here. There's been missing persons cases tied to this forest, and a whole lot more, which, honestly...
The spirit talker responded the moment it was switched on. The first word it displayed was Roberts, then dominant. Then a phrase about being protected, followed immediately by a direct response to a question that had not even been asked yet.
Roberts. Can you tell me if that was a family that inhabited this place? Or maybe even still lives here? Roberts. That is pretty interesting. That as soon as I fired Spirit Talker up, usually it spits out nonsense for a little while before we get anything of value. So, who are the Roberts? This is a vibe with the snow, honestly. I hate snow and I hate the cold. But dominant. Who's dominant? I usually hate the snow and cold, but today it's like perfect for being out here. It's not too cold, comfortable in a hoodie. Yeah, it's really nice. I'll take it. And the snow is just like, it's cool. Is there something dominant that lives in this forest? There's creatures that aren't human that live here. Is that true? We are very close to the Skinwalker forest that I was at before. Tragedy. A tragedy happened here? Did it involve the Roberts? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's still cold out here, but it's not abhorrently bad.
We can knock.
We can knock. Can you give me a knock? Maybe out in this forest somewhere? Or maybe move something around a little?
Wander these grounds.
You wander these grounds. Are you part of the Roberts? Not hearing any knocking, unfortunately. I was hoping we'd get a knock out there. It doesn't seem so. It doesn't seem like we're going to score a knock. Explore. Can you tell me who you are? Talk about wandering these grounds. Are you someone that used to live here? Or did you explore this place, not come back from it? Did that happen to you? I heard there's people that went missing out here.
You are protected.
Who am I protected by, or what am I protected by? More importantly...
Then a scream burst from the tree line. Loud and close, unlike anything he had encountered before. Immediately after, something moved behind a dead tree directly ahead, a dark figure with its head and shoulders clearly visible, then suddenly gone. Not walking away. Gone as if it had passed directly into the trunk.
I don't know what that was.
We are watching you.
We are watching you. Who's watching me? I saw something disappear behind that tree. Right after I heard that noise. I know for a fact I did. Dude, I'm getting out of here. I got a bad feeling about this. Real bad feeling.
There's two of us.
There's two of us. Did somebody make that noise? Was that somebody else?
He packed up and left.
That was that same exact scream, howl, whatever it was that we heard earlier today at the other forest. I'm about 20 minutes from that place. We heard it there, and I just heard it again. That was loud.
20 minutes later, he was set up at the second location on the private property bordering the Skinwalker forest. The same scream tore through the darkness, same pitch, same distance. A different forest, the same sound.
Right through the trees, a very soft, faint whisper coming through the trees. And that's when the dog started barking. Right after I heard that.
Shortly after, something else followed, a faint whisper drifting from the trees. Then a dog began barking from a direction where there were no homes anywhere nearby.
Okay, the first one we got was content creator. Who you are, who I'm speaking to. I've never gotten that before. That was very, very direct. Who am I speaking with? Am I speaking with anybody? Could you give me a sign that you're still here with me? I just heard like a knock on wood or something in the distance. I mean, that was kind of loud. Thank you for that sign. I appreciate that. I'm you and not something else. So I appreciate that.
The device then returned 3 phrases in sequence connected directly to his presence there, including wording suggesting he should leave them alone. Then the word blackmail appeared, the same word captured at this location during an earlier visit.
Leave us alone. See, here's the, okay. Content creator, leave us alone. They probably remember me from last time. Which, I want to say they said blackmail the last time we were out here. I'm not sure, but I feel like we did.
In the day.
In the day. There's something special that happens in the day? Or do you like daytime better than nighttime?
Whatever was there knew he had returned. It remembered him, and it seemed done with him. 2 locations visited within the same afternoon produced the exact same inhuman sound, something that does not match any known animal call in the region. The devices kept returning words tied to a single name across multiple sessions, and the responses appeared to anticipate questions before they were spoken. That is either a pattern or a coincidence becoming harder to explain. What do you think is creating that sound? And if something out there truly recognizes returning visitors, what does that change about how we understand these places? Inside the abandoned Sway Hall in the UK, a paranormal investigator from the channel Exploring with Kevlar walked through the broken doorway carrying a backpack full of ghost hunting equipment, while his camera was already recording. The video was uploaded on January 20th, 2025.
So, we'll be there in about 5 minutes, just that round corner. So yeah, hopefully it goes well.
He placed devices throughout the old building, including EMF meters, REM pods, and glowing cat balls, hoping something inside the deteriorating hall would interact with them. At first, nothing happened besides silence and the sound of wind outside. Then one of the EMF meters suddenly spiked. A red light flashed, followed by another device near the doorway lighting up.
Anybody else here with me tonight? Mean no harm, I come in peace.
Arthur.
Arthur. Thanks, Arthur. Hope you're well. Could you go near any of my devices for me?
Moments later, a cat ball rolled across the floor and lit up. Shortly after, his phone's spirit app displayed a name.
I am Dexter.
Hiya, Dexter. Nice to meet you. My name is Cav. Thanks for getting back to me, mate. I don't mean any harm, Dexter. Could you touch any of my devices? I've got in. Mean no harm, I come in peace.
Arthur.
Arthur. Thanks, Arthur. Hope you're well. Could you go near any of my devices for me?
As he continued the investigation, something strange started happening. His camera battery, which had been at 70%, suddenly dropped to 0.
It's drained my battery in my camera. It's drained. Camera battery's totally drained. About 70% when I came out, that. Thanks for the lights, guys. Keep tapping that screen.
Then one of the devices moved on its own. Kevlar stared into the darkness.
So much. I'm absolutely buzzing. Thank you again. Thank you. Can I come back? Can I come back and visit you guys again?
Using my voice.
Thank you very much.
A device near the doorway lit up again.
For me, please. That device in the doorway, you can go near it again if you want. Do you want me to leave?
As if something inside the hall had just reacted to him, or maybe it was something else entirely. So what do you think was really there? Meet Josh, a fearless young creator behind the YouTube channel, Exploring with Josh. Best known for exploring abandoned buildings and allegedly haunted locations, his mission has always been simple: uncover hidden places and document the unknown. But on August 7th, 2016, Josh and 3 friends, John, Stephen, and Cody, entered a location far different from the abandoned ruins they were used to, a massive lava tube known as Ape Cave in Washington state. What started as a casual summer adventure would soon become something much more unsettling.
Oh, today we're going to Mount St. Helens. We're going to Ape Cave.
Oh god, this looks like some from a horror movie.
Yeah, this is
and it's really dark.
movie too. Lucky we got some lanterns. Well, they do.
Oh god.
It's so dark.
Yo,
Alright.
it is darker than I thought, everyone.
Jeez. I really feel like I'm gonna...
Let the guys go first with the light.
Yo, I got the lantern. Okay, hold on.
The group makes their way into the cave carrying lanterns, excited to explore. But the deeper they crawl, the more the atmosphere begins to change. The tunnel tightens until 2 of the friends decide not to continue any farther. Josh and Steve keep going, crawling on their knees through the freezing darkness.
Claustrophobic. Dude, it goes so low. It goes like ground, like kneeling.
I too?
I don't even know if this leads out anywhere. I think it's just the end. We can be crawling all day.
Let's find out. Oh man.
Oh my god.
Yeah man, I don't...
Dude, actually, I think we can go deeper.
Yeah, it goes... You think we can go deeper?
Oh my god.
We could try it.
That's scary. That's so scary. Like, I'm just picturing in my head what if like the cave collapses and
I know.
no way back.
We're not
I
gonna
really
think...
doubt it.
I'm not gonna think about that. I'm crawling, man.
Oh, me too. I'm crawling.
It gets even smaller.
I'm getting my clothes. I don't even know. Dude,
As they continue deeper into the narrow passage, the tunnel eventually opens into a larger chamber. Relieved but uneasy, they begin heading back, only to come across something completely unexpected. A young girl. Alone. Quiet. Shaking. She couldn't speak English and simply stared at them with terrified eyes.
I don't know. You speak English? No English.
No?
Oh, okay.
Okay, come with us.
Hey Josh, do you see those the couple that was back there?
You wanna come with
Tell
us?
them their daughter's up here and she's scared.
They don't speak. She doesn't speak English.
She doesn't speak
They don't
English.
speak English.
It's okay.
It's alright. This is the way back.
The group immediately lowers the camera and guides her back toward the cave entrance. Once outside, they discover her parents desperately searching and calling for her in another language. She's safely reunited with them, though still visibly distressed.
What an experience. As we were about to leave, this little girl comes up out of nowhere, scares us, and at first we're like, wait. Then she just stood there in the back, so I started talking to her, but she wouldn't answer me. It turns out she really didn't speak English at all. She's by herself, crawled the whole way in there by herself, no light. Eventually, I guess her parents were yelling her name in their language, and yeah, she went back, but she started crying and stuff. It was kind of a crazy situation.
How the girl managed to crawl so far into the cave without a flashlight or any guidance remains difficult to understand. Josh later explained that she had become separated from her parents and unknowingly kept moving farther into the cave system. Even so, several questions remained unanswered. Why hadn't she yelled for help? Why hadn't anyone heard her sooner? And if Josh and Steve had decided to turn around when the tunnel first narrowed, would the girl have ever been found? Some viewers became convinced there was something strange about Ape Cave itself. A hidden force, an eerie presence, or perhaps something drawing people farther into the darkness. What began as another exploration unexpectedly turned into a rescue mission, one that easily could have ended far worse. Josh's decision to keep pushing deeper may have saved someone's life, but the silence inside the cave, along with the mystery of how far the girl traveled alone, continues to stay with him years later. So if you ever decide to explore the unknown, ask yourself this: who could already be waiting somewhere in the dark, hoping someone goes just a little farther? Joseph is a TikTok creator who rarely uploads, and most of his content consists of simple, wholesome videos with his son, just normal, everyday moments. But among those clips, there's one that feels completely different. While working on a fence around his yard, a fence he explained he felt necessary to build, he ended up recording the exact reason why. And once you see it, the situation starts making a lot more sense.
Look, dude, she couldn't find her way over there, so now she's over here. Do you see her? Look at that face. It's right there staring at me. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck? She's crawling through all this shit, bro.
Honestly, this is one of those videos that stays in your mind, not because it's overly dramatic, but because it feels believable. What makes the footage more unsettling is the fact that Joseph has a young son, and seeing that woman crawling through the bushes just to look into their yard completely changes the context. At first, it's difficult to clearly understand what's happening, but once the image is zoomed in, it becomes much easier to see. The face, along with the way she stays low and hidden, is difficult to ignore. Joseph also captured a still frame from another moment, which can be seen here, and without exaggerating the situation, it genuinely gives off the feeling of old witch folklore, like something pulled from a story people would tell around a fire. Small details like posture movement and timing can transform an ordinary moment into something deeply unsettling, especially during situations that resemble a camping encounter where awareness becomes extremely important. When someone moves that way while trying to stay hidden, it completely changes how the situation feels. If you were in his position, would you ignore it, or take steps to protect your space? The next clip was originally posted on Instagram, but it has since circulated across multiple platforms in different formats, so it may already seem familiar. The footage shows a mountain biker riding with friends along a dirt trail built for speed tight, turns, steep climbs, and pure adrenaline. Trails like this usually feel isolated, but during one downhill section as the rider comes fast around a bend, a group of people suddenly appears ahead. Everything changes within seconds, which is what makes the moment feel so intense.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Stop! Are you okay? I'm so sorry. Damn, bro. Hey, what's that? Is everyone okay? Are you guys okay?
Get the dog.
It's okay. Did I hit the dog? Sorry, guys.
Where's my glasses at?
Here, I'll help you look for some stuff. I am all good. I crash all the time. I just want to make sure you guys are okay.
We're fine.
So, this isn't a legal trail. As you can see, there's no signs. It was made by bikers. If you do decide to hike up it, be careful. I should be careful too. I'm sorry. That's also on me. I hope, is he okay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you need any?
One detail that stands out immediately is the quick apology, even though the situation wasn't entirely one-sided. At the same time, the trail had no markings, and the group had no way of knowing it was being used for high-speed downhill biking. To them, it probably seemed like just another path through the woods. Fortunately, the rider managed to slow down enough to avoid a direct collision. If impact had happened at that speed, the result could have involved serious injury or worse. The dog was unharmed, and a warning shouted from behind helped stop other riders from entering the same situation. When there are no clear signs or warnings, both sides end up relying only on instinct in the moment. So in a situation like that, would it feel like an accident, or something that could have been avoided? Jamie is a YouTuber who documents his rugged bikepacking and van camping trips on his channel, often capturing real and unpredictable camping encounter moments that feel raw and unfiltered. Unlike many van life creators who present a polished lifestyle, his content focuses more on the reality of finding a safe place to park for the night inside his Volkswagen Transporter, where even a simple camping encounter can quickly become uneasy. In February 2025, Jamie uploaded a video from a solo trip through the Norfolk countryside during a misty, rainy evening. After discovering his original campsite was blocked by no overnight parking signs, he was forced to drive through the dark, searching for another location. Eventually, he stops along a remote section of Peter's Way, an ancient Roman road known for being extremely isolated. Almost immediately after setting up his cooking area, the atmosphere of the trip begins to change.
Weird singing going on in those woods. I think I'm gonna cook my tea and fuck off.
Jamie mentions hearing unusual singing somewhere deep within the woods. While most people would probably assume it was only the wind or some kind of auditory illusion, he is visibly unsettled by it. Despite the strange noise, he tries to ignore the feeling and continues preparing food. At one point, he even considers walking into the woods to investigate the source of the sound, a decision that could have escalated the camping encounter even further. But as the rhythmic noises continue, he begins worrying that he may be approaching some kind of gathering or group of people hidden deep in the darkness. Although he initially tries pushing through the discomfort by opening the back of the van, the uneasy feeling eventually becomes overwhelming and he decides to lock himself inside. As he prepares to sleep, he realizes the singing may not have been the only thing he needed to worry about during this camping encounter.
Just got out of the van to have a piss. What the fuck is that? There's a light in the bloody woods now. I'll tell you what, fuck this.
After coming to the conclusion that someone or possibly multiple people may be watching him from a distance with a light source visible far from any nearby homes, he decides staying overnight is no longer worth the risk. He eventually leaves the area safely. In that situation, would it feel safer to stay and understand what was happening, or leave before the camping encounter became something worse? The final clip in this compilation comes from a YouTube channel called T. These days, the channel mostly uploads music, but years ago it shared many different kinds of content. The footage we're watching was uploaded around 6 years ago, although it appears much older. That detail is only important for context, since the clip clearly isn't recent or created using modern technology. In the video, we see what appears to be some kind of animal. However, the title describes it as full video of a supposed skinwalker, which immediately changes the way people interpret what they're seeing and pushes the situation into something far more uncertain and mysterious. The truth is, nobody actually knows what it is. It could simply be mistaken identity, it could be staged, or it might just be an animal filmed from an unusual angle. For a brief moment when the figure gets closer, it almost resembles a human body lying on the ground, but the way it moves feels strange. The crawling motion on all fours looks quick, stiff, and almost unnatural. After only a few movements, it disappears behind a rock, and that's where the footage ends. No clearer continuation, no second angle, nothing else to confirm what was seen. The low video quality doesn't help either, and because the footage is older, it becomes even harder to properly analyze. And honestly, that's exactly why the clip stays in people's minds. There's just enough detail to trigger the imagination, but never enough to fully explain anything. If a camping encounter like this left you with more questions than answers, would you trust what you thought you saw? Or walk away before finding out more? That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.